Welcome back, everyone, to episode 13 for the US series of Geopolitical Simulator 5, and this is the 2026 edition. So, from the polls, you guys have voted for me to get involved in the conflict between Yemen and Somalia. So, we are going to get involved, and we're going to place a lot of naval equipment around Yemen. We're going to attack different targets, and eventually we will send boots on the ground to Sanaa, the capital, and take over. So I've been debating on whether to colonize or to just integrate Yemen into the US, basically annex Yemen. And the benefit of that would be we would be a force in the region, and we would be within striking distance of Iran if anything were to cause us to do so. And we would also be close to sending more equipment to Taiwan if anything happened there. So the way I'm looking at it is a win-win, and then we're trying to get better ties with the African countries as well. So this could only benefit us. The downside is Yemen's economy is horrible. Um, actually, yeah, they have a 18% inflation rate, almost 20% unemployment. I'm sure I can bring that down, but we're going to basically take a hit for that. So, the first thing we're going to do before we even get involved is want to build more shale oil wells because we need to boost our energy production. So we're going to go to shale. All right, so there's already one there. I think Mississippi is only going to be just good, so we'll settle for that. Um, Let me get closer down here. Was that very good? Of course. So we're going to do two more. All right, so we're done there. And we're going to do natural gas as well. Um, we're going to do five for that too. All right, two more. Try that side. just one more. All right, so we're done with Mississippi. Um, Kentucky, or yeah, Tennessee is already. All right, so we just have one in Kentucky, so let's do four. So we're already dominating the oil market, and we want to continue to do so. And once these come online, we're going to ramp up our fuel production also. All right, and what else was on my list? Illinois. Okay, Michigan already has that. What about Wisconsin? So let's try. Just gonna do oil for now. That's weak. That's average. All right, so we got four. All right, so we're done with Wisconsin. All right, and now let's get ready. All right, so we're gonna send commandos over. And
We are going to
let's get our fleets ready.
we are going to attack this. We are going to attack.
All right, just one. All right, let's get our aircraft carrier over there. Send cruisers over. All right, nuclear submarine. Put about there. Our submarines will hang out there. And get our fleet from there and there. Okay, we have an aircraft carrier. Alright, we're gonna need some fighter jets. We're gonna send them there. Alright, and send them right about there.
This theory is
And let's go to, alright, Japan. And we'll leave them alone. We'll pull, um, let's see. Let's go to Pearl Harbor and let's get, let's pull half of that. And we'll move them there. And let's go back to Pearl Harbor and let's send our commandos to Djibouti. All right, we're going to refuse.
The theory that says if E1 doesn't like E2.
Whoa. Okay, accidents are declining. That's good. All right, and let's go to the CIA, and we're going to place 222 agents in Yemen. Now, the other thing that I want to do is we want to steal the hypersonic technology from either China or Russia. And let's see how many agents we have in each country. Okay, we have 150 in Russia. Okay. So we're going to put more agents in those countries because we have more agents being hired. And, all right. So let's ramp up our military intelligence. Um, it's going to cost us 8 billion, but that's going to be worth it. And so between that and industrial espionage, we should be able to get that technology pretty soon, hopefully. All right, so we have more units in the region. We're going to put our satellites. Let me go here. We're going to put our satellites over Yemen. Because again, we are not getting involved in this conflict at all. We're not even putting sanctions on either country. And we'll pull that over to this area here.
The package has been delivered. Our armaments industry has worked well. The package has been delivered. The delivery deadlines were met.
Okay. So in preparation of this, we're gonna bump up subsidies towards two sectors: infantry armaments. We're not quite meeting our demand there. So we're going to invest 5 billion into that. And then for missiles, we're going to invest 35 billion in that sector. And what that's going to do is it's going to increase our production capacity within a certain time limit so that, for instance, in fact, let me show you. Let me just pause that real quick. For instance, let's go to the US. So right now, our production capacity is 2,720 missiles that we can produce within a year. If we can increase that to maybe 2,900, that would be good. Or just 3,000 even, that would be good. So the more you subsidize that, the more you can produce within the year. So I have 1,500 on the contract now. Because we're still trying to rebuild up from the two conflicts we had with Haiti and Cuba. Which reminds me, alright, so we're going to take 15 cruisers and place them.
We are going to attack.
Alright, so that basically teleported all the way over here. One of the glitches that I see so far, not many. Alright, so, alright, we have that aircraft carrier. And we're gonna move them up a little bit. Let's move that over.
We are going to attack.
Yeah,
We are going to attack.
for some reason, with the aircraft carriers
We are
and
going to attack.
a large fleet, it just teleports over there. It doesn't
We are going to attack.
just move over there gradually. All right, so when we go into Yemen, we're basically going to attack any and everything. So let's.
We are going to fire.
All right, let's take that group out while we can. Okay, we took out 16,000 that quick. Um,
We are going to fire on.
all right, let's hit that base. All right, let's take out that tank. Take out that other tank. Meanwhile, we can. So we're basically
We are going to
hitting
violate.
any and everything at this point. Okay, we still have that tank right there we need to take out. And let's move some satellites over. So we can see what we're dealing with. So we're going to hit that. All right, so let's see how well we're doing. Oh, we only took out 14. What about the terrorist group? Yeah, took out 16,000. All right, let's get that. Oh, all right, let's get that terrorist camp. We're just going to take out that base altogether so they have nowhere to go. All right, and we want to see what's over that, what's in that base at the time.
of our drones has...
Alright, let's get that. Alright, so that's not getting through. Alright, so let's do this. So we're gonna send 50 commandos to that base.
This country's armed forces are counterattacking violently.
One of our drones has to...
Alright, let's do that. Take care of that tank. So once we take that base over, we're going to start moving tanks and everything else over. What in the world happened to... Alright. What happened to my... See, this is a glitch. I didn't give the, I didn't give the order for them to depart. Go back to where you were.
We are going to attack. We are going to attack.
Alright, go back over here. What in the world are you doing? Alright, so this is very foretelling. So they want to do a military intervention against me based off of Yemen's complaint. But look at all the other countries. They're not showing up, so they don't have to vote, including Russia. Now that's a big step. The only one that's voting against us is China. So, of course, we're not going to vote to have something done to our country. So now we're going to put even more up here. We're going to send this nuclear
We are going to
sub
attack.
over here. Oh, we got a good opportunity here. Alright, why are my commandos going? Alright, so this is something that needs to be addressed.
Our infiltrated agent.
I didn't give them permission to do so. Look at this, like, stay where you're supposed to be at. Alright. So the next thing we're gonna do is... Let me go to... Alright, let me send helicopters over. Like, why do they keep moving? Alright, go back to the base in Djibouti then.
If the budget figures remain.
Everything has.
What in the world? What? Alright, I'm not sure what's going on here. But we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to try to end this pretty quickly. Because the game is, game is glitching out. Like, why do you keep... Excuse me. Alright, why do my commandos keep going to other areas? And one commando is not going to do anything. Alright, so we're going to send the helicopter into the capital. So it's 4 tanks, no, 9 tanks and 187 commandos we have to
Our
get rid of.
services.
Alright, let's take them out. Let's bring that fleet up closer.
We have taken a slight advantage.
The theory that says if E1 doesn't like
The balance of power is rather in our favor.
The population affected by the disaster is in a very precarious situation.
Okay, let's
Must have
send...
lost a lot and even everything and are asking the state for help to survive.
Let's just send 3 billion for that. Alright, so we're gonna send our commandos over to... What? Where did they go? Oh my gosh. Alright, let's just send them in. No, you're not going there. Okay, yeah, we want to get people that's out in the open. And let's get that camp. What in the world? Okay, let's get that terrorist camp there. Let's get that one that just popped up. Alright, so we're in the capital. Alright, we need to infiltrate. Alright, we'll let them. Alright, so far we have no resistance in the capital at all.
Our last soldiers are.
So we're gonna send them to the bank. Let's help. See them. Let's send them to the parliament. Oh, no. Let's go back here.
We have just taken the country's capital.
Alright, so that
Our
conflict
infiltrated
should
agents had the
pretty
chance to
much be
carry out a
done with.
sabotage operation.
Yeah, we'll do the sabotage. Alright, everyone, so that should pretty much conclude the conflict. Let's see how long it takes to have them officially stop.
Our fiscal performance.
Let's go ahead to okay, Yemen surrenders. But we're still gonna take out these terrorist camps.
This theory is spreading.
Attempted. Nah, we're not doing that.
It must be conceded that there is a stale. It must be conceded. It must be conceded. It must be conceded.
Alright, let's do that base right there. So let's see. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we're going to integrate that into the country. And I know I'm going to regret it, economy-wise. But if we start building oil wells and gas wells, I believe we can accomplish our goal.
We are going to violate. We are going to fire on targets in this. We are going to violate this.
Alright, let's get that group. Alright, that's done.
One of our drones has detected.
The country is withdrawing from the conflict. We will update your strategic maps accordingly for your reference.
Okay. So, we took over Yemen, which gives us a huge strategic advantage. But we have to deal with the terrorist groups within the country now. But if we can build up air bases, military bases, that's going to help us with dealing with Iran. So again, thank you for the support for this channel. And I hope to do another video within the next day or so. I'm trying to increase my activity with doing videos. So hopefully within the next 24 to 48 hours, I'll be able to do another one, if not sooner. So until then, thank you for the support. If you're not already supporting this channel, please do so. It would be of great help, and take care.